What is up, guys? It's ya boy, Rick. The real Savathun was the friends we made along the way. Akakas here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel, and let me know what you think my next intro name should be. That comment section is absolutely wild. Alright, today, we are going to be focusing on one of the bigger changes coming to Destiny 2 with the launch of Season 15. Because for the last several weeks, Bungie has been unveiling a bunch of the Sandbox changes coming with the start of Season 15 on August 24th. And one of absolutely the biggest of these changes, like there's been a lot of buffs and nerfs to weapons and exotics and so on, but really subclasses are also getting some massive impactful changes. And the one we're focusing on today is the Arcstrider. This is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of the Season 15 Sandbox update, getting an absolutely colossal PvE buff. So let's go over that. Firstly, we have some changes to the perks involved in these subclass nodes. For Deadly Reach, where dodging increases your melee range, allowing you to lunge further to strike enemies, they increase the duration from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. And then for Lightning Weave in the middle tree, where melee hits greatly increase your reload speed, firstly, Tempest Strike will now trigger it, and also the timer can now be extended by dealing damage with any weapon. So instead of constantly having to get melee hits to get that reload bonus, now you get one melee hit, and then you just keep shooting enemies, and that's going to extend the timer constantly, so you're going to have really sped up reloads. That's actually a pretty substantial change. But even more substantial than that are the changes to the super Arc Staff. So firstly, they extended the passive super duration from 16 seconds to 20 seconds. Essentially, if you activate your super and you just stand there, after 16 seconds, it will go away. Now you get 4 more seconds, so the super is literally going to last longer, and therefore that means more total damage output, more swings in one super. But not only that, they also increased the heavy slam detonation radius from 5 meters to 6 meters. So when you jump up into the air and then press like right trigger and come slamming down and do that AoE attack, well, now that's about 20% bigger. Like, that's a significant increase. And if that wasn't all enough, the icing on top, the biggest change here is that they increased damage versus PvE combatants by 33%. So you are doing 1/3, 33% more damage against everything from a red bar to a boss. So that means that overall, Arcstrider, especially that Arc Staff Super, is significantly more powerful going into Season 15. And there's already some easy, powerful Arcstrider builds you can put together, and certainly I think they revolve around the Radiant Flux exotic chest armor. So it has the intrinsic exotic perk Synapse Junctions. Quick successive attacks with Arc Staff increases its damage output and duration. So think about that for a second. This already is pretty darn powerful. Like, I did a video showcasing the Nova Warp Warlock and especially the handheld Supernova, which is getting a 100% damage buff next season, but I mentioned that using it now, it feels underpowered. I can see why Bungie is buffing that. But with the Arcstrider, especially with Radiant Flux, it doesn't really feel underpowered. I have a huge amount of super that I can utilize. Heck, I'm killing, nightmares, tons of enemies, and so on. Often, the round will end after I've slaughtered a bunch of enemies, and I'm sitting there with like 1/3 of my super still remaining, because it just lasts so darn long. So going into Season 15, not only am I just doing 33% more damage across the board against everything, but my heavy slam attacks are also more powerful with an increased radius, and my super lasts significantly longer. And that's another key factor to pay attention to, because the Radiant Flux exotic perk extends the length of your super. So could that work multiplicatively with this now increase to the passive duration of your super from 16 to 20 seconds? If my base super lasts longer, and let's say Radiant Flux gives you a 20% boost to the length, that 20% just became much more significant. That's going to stack on top of this buff. In fact, let's demonstrate that right now by doing the math. So if it is a 20% increase to 16 seconds, which it is right now, that goes to 19.2 seconds in total, 3.2 seconds added by the Radiant Flux. But after the buff, it's a 20-second duration, so a 20% increase to that is 24 seconds in total, a 4-second increase added by the Radiant Flux. So you're getting a whole extra second of super damage. And so this combo could be absolutely bananas. Again, I feel like my super with Radiant Flux, getting this gameplay, already lasts for quite a while. Like, I was like, oh dang, I forgot how good this thing actually was. Now, I'm not going to pretend it's top tier. It's not as good as something, you know, right now like Chaos Reach with Geomegs or something like that, but it really did not feel underpowered. It feels good right now, and that's getting significantly better next season. Sign me right up. But something else I think it's very important to note about these changes is that just a straight up buff to the super is good for any build involving Arcstrider. I'm using Radiant Flux to really illustrate how powerful Arc Staff can be even right now without these buffs. But remember, I could use a completely different exotic. I could use something like the Liar's Handshake and a 1-2 punch shotgun, and that, again, even right now, is a pretty powerful combination, and then just get the benefits of a much more powerful and buffed super. I'm not using that build for its super, but the fact that passively I have a much more powerful super is a benefit in and of itself. So any build involving Arcstrider just got better because of these changes. You don't have to completely dive fully into creating the entire build around Arc Staff. Now, with all that being said, am I going to be running Arcstrider in Grandmaster Nightfalls next season? Probably not, just because melee supers are really not what you often want to use. However, there's going to be a new seasonal activity. You're still going to be grinding, you know, normal Nightfalls, Strikes, Gambit, whatever. And I mean, even think with Gambit, one Arcstrider with Radiant Flux, or even without Radiant Flux, is going to have enough super to clear out an entire Gambit wave by themselves and probably make it over to the next Gambit wave as well. That is something that shouldn't be discounted. Just because something is maybe not the best for the end game doesn't mean it doesn't have other applications throughout other relevant activities in Destiny 2. But what do you guys think? Are you going to be gunning for the Arcstrider, or are you still sticking with that Nova Warp? What do you think is going to be the biggest beneficiary of these Season 15 buffs? Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.